Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. I am Martina Lily and today we are putting to the test the new Natasha Denona Hypernatural face palette. Let's see what this little bad boy is all about, shall we? So you know I've done in-depth swatches for you guys. I'm going to do a look with the product. There will be timestamps if you're only interested in certain parts. So hopefully that all sounds interesting to you guys. If it does, go ahead and do the YouTube things, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let's get started. Just very quickly, the quick details of this little palette. So this is the new Hypernatural face palette from Natasha Denona. Mine is swatched. You will see it's unswatched in the B-roll of the swatches shortly. So you get 5 eyeshadows and I guess 3 bronzers, 2 blushes, and then you can mix and match to create different shades. This whole palette is actually a brand new formula to Natasha Denona, which originally when I saw the palette, I was a bit on the fence just because I don't normally like a face and eye palette, but as soon as I saw it was like a new formula, I was sold. I was like, absolutely get in my cart. Now, this is designed to be like that no makeup type product, so it's going to be a lot softer than your normal, say, like Natasha Denona eyeshadow palette, and just from swatching them, it definitely feels that way. It's also, as I mentioned, a brand new formula. She calls it a mistake-proof formula, which is awesome. Like, these shadows are kind of designed to be like one and dones, really. And they're all infused with like skincare, and it says it's infused with squalane, which I love, but also this Berry Flux Vita, which is derived from raspberry extract, and Vita Boutique, which is sourced from pomegranate. So there you go. All of these makeup products are now infused with skincare products. I'm not mad about it, to be honest. Now, this is about 62 USD, and I think I paid about 100 Australian dollars. It hasn't come out on Sephora Australia yet. I think it's about mid-March. I picked mine up off Beautylish, which you guys, if you pick this palette up, if you're from Australia from Beautylish, it is free express shipping. I'm pretty sure, like, mine came in a couple of days. So just like, if you don't want to wait, I personally recommend shopping off Beautylish. But wherever it's available, I'll link it down below for you guys. And everything that I use today will be linked in the description box. They are affiliate links, so if you shop through them, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. All right, what we're going to do now is I have done swatches for you guys. So I'm going to do like arm swatches. So I've done the 5 eyeshadows and you'll see them. Then I've done the 3 contour bronzer shades and then the blush shades, and I did the single shadows and then I mixed the 2 blushes together, and then I did individual hand swatches for the eyeshadows as well for you guys. So we're going to swipe into those and then we will zoom in and put this bad boy to the test. You guys are zoomed in nice and close. I have primed my lids already using my Hourglass eye primer. We're going to get stuck into using this first for an eye look, and these are bronze and contour powders, so they're face powders, not designed to specifically be eyeshadows per se, but we are going to use them as eyeshadows today for my look so that I don't have to dip into another palette. Now I'm going to start with my Sonia G, I think this is like Crease 1 brush, and what I'll do is dip into this one right here first, and I will speak about my thoughts on like shade range and shades in this palette and how it's laid out when I get to the bronzer contour section. For now, we're just going to look at them as eyeshadows in this little bit. And I'm going into this expecting the formula to be quite soft, not super pigmented, because it is supposed to be a no makeup, you know, kind of product. So if you are not a no makeup kind of gal or person, this might not be for you. I mean, that blends very lovely. I haven't watched any reviews, except I did watch Teresa Is Dead's review of it. I didn't watch it in full. I just kind of like half was watching it while I was working, just because I watch every single video she puts out. But I know she wasn't a fan of at least how these blended on the eyes, so we'll see. I mean, it's very soft, as you can tell. You can actually barely even see that shadow, which is, or that product on my lids, which is totally fine. They're a little bit more powdery than I was expecting, but I guess this is the bronzer contour. The shadows, when you swatch them, apart from the sparkly second shade, definitely feel like creams. They feel really lovely. And not like a cream to powder, just pretty much like a cream. I'm going to switch to a What's Up R103, and I'm just going to take the middle shade of the bronze and contour now. And let's just kind of deepen these up a bit. I'm actually getting ready to go live with Simply Blair on her channel now. So I'm filming this before that, which is very exciting. We're talking all about our favorite makeup brushes. So I'm very excited. So I will link that video down below if you want to check it out. Blair and I take turns doing a live together on each other's channel. So last month it was my channel, this month's her channel. And then later on in March as well, it'll be my channel again. So they're good fun. It's just like hanging out with friends, really. All right, again, very soft. So let's now pick up a Refa 15 Mini, and we'll go into the darkest shade, and let's see how this performs. I know that these shadows are technically supposed to be like one and dones and not really need a matte, but because I have hooded eyes, I do like to add a little bit of dimension. That's just a personal preference. You can totally skip that. All right, let's just leave that there. And I think, I don't know which, I really want to go into this shadow. So yeah, let's just do that. Let's go into this one right here. I'm just going to take it with my finger. It's called Casual, because I really feel like this is going to be best suited with your finger. I think that's just the kind of formula. I'm just going to pop it all over the lid. And I don't have any intensifiers down or anything. That's really pretty. All right, now that I've tried that, curiosity's got the better of me. I'm gonna try this Bissioto flat brush now, and let's see, because I usually find this brush actually works really well with like creamy shadows and like creams. So let's see how this applies. Oh yeah, that actually applies really easily with the brush. That's cool. I never do like a dark smoky eye like this, so there you go. Look at me getting outside my comfort zone. I'm just picking up that, I'm gonna pick up that Refa 15 and just use that to like blend the edges. Oh, that blends really nice. Look at that. Nice. And I'm just kind of like squiggling through the crease, just like blend it upward. Oh, that's actually really nice. Oh, I like that. That is not a shadow I would normally use because it's a bit like smoky and dark, but I love it. It's kind of like a black smoky eye, but not a black. It's like a slate gray kind of smoky eye. It's cool. I like it. I mean, I don't know how that's kind of like no makeup, but you know, I'm here for it regardless. Shall we try with Intensifeyes? Let's do it. Let's just see what Intensifeyes from Pat does on this eye. I don't really think you necessarily need it. They're not designed to be like super sparkly, except for this one. But for science sake, let's do it. So going back into casual. Yeah, it definitely just makes it grip a little bit easier, that's for sure. Yeah, this brush is like perfect for it because this is a natural hair brush from Bissioto. I got it from Feud Brushes. And I find when I have like a creamy, like a cream, you know, cream eyeshadow like in the pot or whatever, or like this formula, that kind of flat brush is like perfect for it. Oh, that's the wrong brush. Sorry. Refa 15. And I'm also going to be filming, this video will go up before it, but I'm going to film a like, I've got a heap of new makeup to play around with, but I don't have a new eyeshadow palette to play around with for that video, so I'll do another look with this palette in that video as well, so stay tuned if you're interested. Wow, actually that's come together really pretty. I like that. I mean, I look a little crazy now. I don't have makeup on like the rest of my face, but like I am really liking how that looked. Now, obviously, we're going a step further and I'm going to pick up my Refa 2 and I have to go into Dreamy right here. We have to do the sparkle, we have to. It does remind me a little bit like the foiled metallics or the foiled sparkly shades in I Need a Nude, but it's definitely, it's actually drier than those. Like, see how I've got fallout just even from that, whereas like I don't find the I Need a Nude shades you get any fallout because they're like a creamy type formula, so it's quite interesting. But it's very pretty. It's definitely like a fairy dusting of glitter, but if you're going to use this and you've already done your base, make sure you spray your brush so that you minimize any of that glitter fallout. Oh, in low lighting that will look amazing. Wow, that's so pretty. Wow, that is gorgeous. I really like that. That is gorgeous. Okay, happy days so far. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm basically going to do a speed through of my makeup. So I'm actually going to put eyeliner and mascara on my top waterline and lashes now, just because I like to do that now. And then I'll do primer, foundation, concealer, everything up until we get to bronzer and blush and the lower lash line and stuff. So I'll do a speed through of that. The products will be linked down below for you guys though if you're interested in what I'm using. So let's do that. So I have done up until brows, and I also just put the Natasha Denona, what what is this one actually called? One sec. Camu eyeliner on my lower waterline, because I thought that like electric kind of yellowy green would look really cool with the contrast of this eye. Let's finish this lower lash line first. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a Refa, what is this, 3 pencil brush, and I'm just going to go into the casual shade and just run that underneath close to the lash line. And the cool thing about these is because they're cream, shouldn't get a lot of fallout or anything, which is nice. I'm not gonna lie, love this eye look. Love it. It's not an eye look I would have naturally thought to do, but it is stunning in my personal, humble opinion. I'll wrap up my thoughts around like what I actually think of the formula and stuff as well at the end, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, that's perfect. All right, and then I'm just going to pick up this What's Up pencil brush, and I will just go a little bit into, no, that's too sparkly. What I might actually do, I've got my Natasha Denona My Dream little face palette here. I'm just going to go into the powder highlight in this and put that in the inner corner, just because the other one I don't want glitter specks there. Yeah, that's perfect. Now let me put a little bit of Lisa Eldridge mascara on the lower lashes. Just a touch. I didn't like this as much the first time I tried it, but now that the formula is thickened up after a few days, I really like it, which is why you can't judge a mascara by its first impressions. Anyway, that's the eyes. I think they personally look stunning, in my opinion, but that's up to you. Everyone's view is different, if you will. Now for the actual tricky part, in my personal opinion, using these, because, so here's my thoughts. One, I think that this was advertised as a face palette that suits all skin tones. Absolutely, hands down not. The eyes, the eyeshadows, probably. These face colors, no, I'm sorry. And I don't think it should be advertised that way. I think it's really doing a disservice to all of the skin tones, but also even just to Natasha Denona's brand herself. She's a makeup artist. Like, surely she would know, like, when I think of all skin tones, if you're saying a product caters to all skin tones, it means that someone like Nima Tang, for example, who's really popular here on YouTube for her search for a bronzer for her skin tone, if it's not gonna suit her skin tone, it doesn't suit all skin tones, because her skin tone needs to be, like, the product needs to suit her skin tone for it to be inclusive of all. Obviously, there's a lot of other skin tones that it needs to encapsulate out there, but that's just like the immediate, like, kind of thought reference. And like when I was swatching these, but also when I just put these on the eyes, they're so light. Like, you cannot tell me that these are going to show up on anyone more than a medium skin tone. I just don't see it. I don't. I could be wrong. I've only ever worked on my skin tone. My skin tone, I'm pretty pale. So, you know, I could be wrong about that. But yeah, and I just think like the blushes probably will go a lot further over skin tones. But yeah, it's definitely not a palette. I wish that she had done what she did with the last Glam face palette that she brought out, where she did like the light and then the deep. And to be honest, I would even like to see a bigger spectrum of like, pale, light, medium, deep, deep dark, or something like that. If you're going to do a face palette, I think you need to have a range of face palettes to suit all skin tones, personally. I also don't love these tiny little 3 pans right here. Like, bronzer's the kind of application where you generally, most people will use like a bigger brush and stuff, so it's like, now again, these are kind of also called contours, but it says contour and bronze, so I don't know. Anyway, let's just try the product. I'm going to take this tiny little angle brush from BK. It's a 112, and I'm going to go into this one first, and we'll see how it goes. And this is why I was hesitant, I guess, in picking up this product, is because for this actual face palette, like, it's kind of tedious to use. Oh, it's actually more pigmented than I was anticipating, though. All right, well, that's more pigmented than I was anticipating, and that is a nice contour shade for me. You can see it adds like a nice subtle shadow. So happy days for me. I don't love using a little brush like this, I'll be honest, but at least it does actually look quite nice, and it's a nice formula actually. It's quite blurry. Get rid of this little double chin here. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, I was preparing to like really not like this bronzer part because the 3 pans of this, how close these are together, really annoys me. And the fact that it's not catered to all skin tones, but the actual formula, if we put those 2 gripes aside for a minute, is gorgeous. Look at that. Wow. Yeah, that is really pretty. Okay, not mad. What I'll do now, you know, I actually randomly have this little flower nose natural hair brush and it's really teeny tiny. And I think what I'm gonna do is just like do a little mix of all 3. And then I'm just gonna lightly sweep that just to deepen a little bit and just see what happens. That is pretty. Oh, I like this formula. That's really pretty. I don't know how that is looking on camera, but in real life that looks so natural and blurring. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. That's okay. So I'll talk about pros and cons at the end. Let's now, actually what I'll do is I'll quickly put some highlighter on because that's my next step. So I'm just going to take the cream highlight from the My Dream palette, which as you can see, I really love. I just take it with my sponge and dab, dab, dab. Actually, I'd love this cream highlight to be released in singles and like a whole shade range. I think it would kill it. Like Natasha, if you're for some reason watching, which she wouldn't be, but if you are, can we get singles in this cream formula, please? Okay, and then I'll take a teensy touch of the powder highlight. Just set that. Okay. Okay, now let's do the blush. Now, I also should mention I did not do any cream bronzer or contour today, which I normally would, because I wanted to just see how this would show up on its own. And then I'm also not going to do any cream blush. So I'm going to pick up my Refa 5 because I think this brush is going to be nice and small for it. And I'm actually going to mix these 2 together. So I've done the swatches of these individual shades, but for me, I think where the shade is going to be perfect is if I mix them together, because I think the light pink's a bit too light for me and then the deep one's too deep. So I'm going to mix them. Oh, that's pretty. Okay. Yep, that's beautiful. Look at that. Okay, happy days. Let me set my face. So I'm going to take my Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. It cannot be a Natasha Denona review without me putting on my Natasha Denona My Dream lip combo for the look. So I'm going to do my lips. I think that's looking pretty nice. All right, let me go do hair and jewelry. We will zoom out and wrap this up. All right, my friends, this is the finished look. What do you guys think? I personally love it. Truly love it. I think this has come out absolutely stunning in my personal opinion. Ironically, I feel like, you know, it's called the Hyper Natural Face Palette, and my look, I've just gone full glam, but I don't mind, you know, shows the versatility of it. All right, what's my thoughts on this palette? Who do I recommend it for? What do I think? Okay, let's talk about the cons first. The biggest con for me, like I've already mentioned, is that this is just the one shade and this does not cater to all skin tones. Like if we're taking into account these 2 face products, which you have to do when you're including, like calling it a face palette, this is not for all skin tones. So that really annoys me. I wish that there was a range of the palettes, even just the same shadow range, but like a range of palettes for these. I'd be a lot happier because then it really is inclusive. Secondly, these 3 like being like so close together like that and small, I don't love. I would have even rathered like this. I don't mind because with the blush you can select. So even like, don't get me wrong, I don't mind that there's like the 3 shades. I get like, you know, the variety there's nice, but in terms of like having to get like a small brush and application, it's annoying. So I would have even just rather have like 2 shades, like have say maybe these 2 shades in like the say light palette, and then, you know, have other shades if you want deeper ones. That's so on and so forth. They're my only real cons of this palette. They're big cons, don't get me wrong, at least the shade range is a big con, but that's kind of like my cons, and that's kind of where they stop, because the formula of these, Natasha released this formula in singles and actually create a full spectrum shade range you will have a hit on your hands, in my personal opinion. This is so blurring and soft and natural and lovely, buildable, easy to use. She called it mistake proof. That's exactly how I would describe it as well. Flawless. I don't normally love Natasha's like blushes and stuff. Like, I've just never found a product. Her face products, apart from that My Dream palette, all the other face products I've kind of tried from her have been a miss. This, exceptional. Again, release these in singles. You've got a hit on your hands. Create a proper shade range. You've nailed it. The shadows here, I personally really love them. This isn't going to be for everyone. If you are someone that loves a one and done, just wants to be able to quickly throw something on, it looks stunning, off you go, but it's not super metallic. Like, these I wouldn't describe. I mean, you can amp up the metallic vibes with this like sparkly shade, and like if you wet this shade and put it on the lids, it'll get even more sparkly. But these are more like satin type shadows, and they're not like a wet type cream in the sense that, like, if you have hooded eyes, they're not going to crease because they're dry enough, but they are like a cream shadow. They really are a unique formula. I personally love them. I think they're awesome. Again, I'd love to see more shades in this particular formula. I think it is mistake proof. I think it's beginner friendly. I think it's, if you're in a rush, friendly. Like, you can really just throw this on and go, and it's going to look exceptional. I really do feel that way about these shadows. They're not going to be for everyone. If you are someone that really loves that highly pigmented, ultra metallic, sparkly goodness from Natasha Denona, you are going to be let down by this palette for sure. But if you are someone that likes, say, for example, the Tom Ford cream formula quads, I think you might quite like this formula because they have just a little bit more oomph to them than that, but it really gives me those kinds of vibes. Personally, I think this is a hit. When I saw it, I wasn't planning on picking it up, like I said, until I saw that it was a new formula, just because face palettes aren't really my thing. However, she has won me over with this. This is definitely, like, she really has. Like, I'm really impressed with this. Lately, I have been loving a softer, easier shadow too. So for me right now, with like the vibes of my makeup style, it's really working. I can see myself traveling with this. And yeah, the formula for me, impeccable, truly. It's really impeccable, but it is hyper natural, so keep that in mind. Like, don't go into this expecting it to be full glam. It's not going to be. It is a softer formula. Now, just keep in mind, all my opinion, watch a few reviews, that kind of a thing, because everyone's opinion's different. Everyone has different makeup preferences, all that kind of thing. This is just my 2 little cents, and also everyone's value of $1 is different, so only you can decide that for yourself. Now, that is it. I want to know from you guys, did you pick this palette up? Have you tried it already? What do you think? Are you eyeing it off? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I love chatting to you guys. And you know, if you've made it this far, you're an absolute legend. Thank you so, so much. I truly appreciate you. And I hope you have the most amazing day wherever you are in the world. And I will see you next time. Bye.